cup, Mr. Hudson?
No, Ruby. Fetch Mrs. Bridges at once. I have something I want to read out to you. All of you. Frederick, sit over here, will you?
What's this about then, Mr. Hudson?
Sit down, please, Mrs. Bridges, and you will hear. You listen too, Ruby. Lily? It's from the correspondence page of this morning's Times. It begins, Dear Sir, I have recently heard of a story which fills me with horror, dismay, and shame. The case of a former sergeant of the King's Royal Rifle Corps, unable to find employment, who has been reduced to living for the past 9 months with his wife and 4 children in a patchwork shack made up of tarpaulins and old army ground sheets.
Oh.
The total space in which the family must live, eat, and sleep is 10 feet by 6 feet.
How big is that, Mr. Hudson?
You can measure it out for yourself later, Ruby. Nor is this an isolated incident. I'm informed that there are thousands of ex-servicemen of all ranks in a similar plight all over the country. Men who fought so gallantly and endured horrors and deprivations in the worst war mankind has ever known. Men whose welfare now should be the top priority of any government, but what is the government doing? The pledges given at the last election to rehouse and re-employ returning soldiers are already shown to be pitifully inadequate. Can we truly claim to be building a land fit for heroes to live in? From Major the Honourable James Bellamy, MC, the Guards Club, London, West 1. Splendid, splendid.
It's monstrous.
I'm referring to the letter, Mrs. Bridges.
I was referring to the contents, Mr. Hudson.
Oh, indeed, it is shocking.
Oh.
That poor man. However can it be allowed to happen?
Well, it's a question of money and priorities, Lily. You see, the government has recently devoted all of its energies to securing world peace.
Never mind about the peace. It's the soldiers that should come first, just like the Major says. Ruby, what are you at?
Bless you, Mrs. Bridges. From here to that fireplace, it's just 6 foot, that hut. Well, that's not enough room to kneel down and say a prayers in even.
Oh, well, there.
You're very silent, Frederick. What do you think about it?
I can't find the words, Mr. Hudson. I'm just proud the Major wrote that letter, that's all.
I'm not to take it, am I, that you disapprove of the letter?
Of course not. The letter was admirable. People have been congratulating me for the past 2 days.
Members of the government?
Not all of them, no. The one or two have privately expressed their approval. Now, I am simply saying that one heartfelt letter from a gallant ex-officer doesn't turn him overnight into a peacetime politician. Geoffrey, had the Central Office sent you here?
Good heavens, no. I've no official connection with the Central Office. But one or two people have let it be known that they're interested in James. I'm surprised no one's spoken to you about it.
Oh, the subject has been mentioned. Though I dismissed it right away.
Isn't that being a little hasty?
No, my darling, I'm not being hasty. I know what's behind all this, and so does Geoffrey. The boy's young, intelligent, served in a fine regiment, won a good MC. Now, that carries its own aura. The Conservative Party knows this. They simply want him to enhance their own prestige. But what happens when he gets in? He's no knowledge of government affairs, won't know how to make a speech. He won't survive.
He's survived worse.
He's an amateur. That's what I mean. No training for the life.
Sorry, Richard, but James has lived in an atmosphere of politics in this house all his life. Isn't that sufficient training? As to his heart being in it, I honestly don't think that... Well, don't you think you should let him answer that one for himself?
Hello, Sir Geoffrey. What's this? Not financial troubles, I hope?
No, James. I just called in to congratulate you on your letter.
Oh, thank you.
Remarkable story. Richard's just been telling me you got it from a doorman at the Guards Club.
Yes, the fellow was his brother-in-law. We've just passed the hat round for him, poor fellow. Well, it's a start, I suppose.
A very healthy one.
Is that all you called in about? You look conspiratorial.
May I tell him, Richard?
If you must, Geoffrey, I can't stop you.
James, have you ever seriously thought of going in for politics?
Good Lord, no, why?
There you are, you see.
What is this?
Geoffrey has received what amounts to a proposition from the Conservative Central Office.
Nothing of the sort.
They want to know if you'd be interested in standing for Parliament. Your father doesn't think you would.
On the strength of one letter scribbled in haste. Oh, they must be hard up for candidates.
They are, of the right sort.
Young men who fought and who can truly represent the interests of ex-servicemen and their families. Isn't that right, Sir Geoffrey?
In a nutshell, yes.
Yes, but my letter was supposed to be attacking the government.
The coalition government, not the Conservative Party. Coalition won't last forever.
No, thank heavens. Well, it's an intriguing idea. Tell me, would I be tied to the party line, or could I speak my mind?
I imagine you'll be free to say whatever you like. I take it you support the basic principles of the party.
Well, the principles, yes. But not always the way they go about things. This needs thinking about. Well, it's true, I have been looking for something to do with my idle life. What do you think, Father?
I'm strongly against the idea. Made it quite clear to Geoffrey and Virginia, politics is a serious business, not meant to be taken idly.
Or am I giving that impression?
You are rather when you talk of filling your idle life. I'm delighted you're well again and ready to do something. But not politics, I beg of you, James, not for you.
Oh, I do believe you're jealous, Father.
If you found the life was not to your taste...
Well, if I fail to get in...
Of course he'll get in somewhere, that's not in doubt. The question is, what does he do afterwards? He put himself in an entirely false position. Handling constituency problems, making speeches. It's a job for a professional.
Yes, thank you, Father, I take your point. But if I have an opportunity, I must be allowed to decide for myself. If I do agree, Sir Geoffrey, how do I go about it?
Well, there'll be a by-election quite soon, Rotherhithe. Old Harry Wetherall, who contested the seat unsuccessfully for years, died last month. He was 73.
Rotherhithe?
Oh, that's Dockland, isn't it? I don't know much about docks.
You could soon learn.
Enough to get by, anyway.
It's a cast-iron Labour seat. He doesn't stand a chance. If he really wants to get in, for heaven's sake, let us find him something safe.
No, no, Father, I wouldn't want that.
Plenty of ex-servicemen, homeless, unemployed, in Rotherhithe, I'm afraid. Interesting to see what sort of impression could be made.
Not very much, I should think.
Yes. Well, you've been very quiet, Virginia. Tell me, what do you think about all this?
I'm not sure that my opinion counts for very much.
No, it counts for a great deal.
Very well, I think you should do it, James, if you want to. I don't want to seem disloyal to you, Richard, but quite frankly, I find your objections impossible to fathom. Well, there's no great mystery to politics. It's not some exclusive club, unless those inside choose to make it one. Now, if a man from any walk of life has a sincere and honest wish to serve his fellow men, then we should encourage him all we can. That's what a democracy means, I've always thought.
Perhaps I should leave you to talk it over.
No, no, Sir Geoffrey, don't go. Tell me, when must I let them know?
The sooner the better. The local association are vetting applicants this week.
Are they?
Father, I promise you I'm not going to take this lightly. But I believe I might have started something with this damn letter that I have an obligation to see through.
James, there are other ways.
Now, what other ways? This is the way you've always chosen, so why shouldn't I? Well, politics are my blood on both sides of the family. I'm feeling fit now, energetic. Maybe I've just been waiting for the right moment.
May I tell them that you're interested?
Oh, you can do more than that, Sir Geoffrey. You could tell them if they want me, I'm game.
Splendid. Splendid. Well, Virginia, I really must go. Richard, do I detect a new influence in the house? You've had this room redecorated, haven't you?
Oh, that, yes. Do you approve?
Well, we must all move with the times, I suppose.
I should hope so.
Come on, then.
Oh, let's go home, Eddie. I can't face him.
Come on, it's your idea.
You can't blame me.
Come on, we're here now. Daisy and I were just in the neighbourhood, so we thought we'd pop in and see you. That's how we are.
Come in.
Hello, Daisy. Oh, lovely to see you. And Edward.
How are you keeping?
Oh, I'm all right, but my goodness, you too. You're soaked to the bone. Here, put the kettle on, Ruby, quickly. Now, you go in there, take your coats off, dry yourselves by the fire. I'll bring you a nice cup of tea.
Thanks, Miss Pretty. It's shocking weather out.
Oh, shocking.
Hello, Lily. Hello, Daisy. Hello, Edward.
Hello, Lily.
Diamond the Major's socks, are you, Frederick? Never did that in my days. Always left that to the girls.
Yeah? Well, it was rather a shortage of girls where we were. At the front.
But yeah, I didn't mean that.
Shall I take that coat for you? Oh, thanks very much, Lily. It's soaking wet.
Lily, can you take my arm?
Yes.
Come on, Dave, warm yourself up.
Hello, Mr. Hudson.
What are you both doing here?
Oh, just passing, really, Mr. Hudson.
Yeah, we were in the neighbourhood, so we thought we'd pop in and see how yours was.
Actually, it was Rose we really come to see, wasn't it, Eddie?
Yeah. Daisy thinks she left a pair of winter shoes here, so she thought she'd pop in and pick them up if Rosie's still got them. No point in splashing out on a new pair, is there?
No, indeed. Well, Rose isn't here, I'm afraid. She's gone down to Southwold. Her aunt has passed away.
Oh, well, I am sorry. When's she coming back?
We don't know for certain, but Lily can look out the shoes for
Oh,
us.
no, don't trouble, Lily. They're probably lost after all this time.
Oh, sorry. Well, we'll just have a cup of tea and then we'll have to catch the tram back to Camberwell.
Oh, no, you won't. You're stopping to supper. Aren't they, Miss Hudson?
Are they?
Richard, darling, may I present the prospective Tory member for a rather high feast?
So they've adopted you.
That's right, Father.
Well, I suppose they know what they're doing.
Yes.
Aren't you going to ask him what they said?
Yes, of course. What did they say?
Well, what they usually say, I suppose. They're a pretty rum lot. Very complacent and fatalistic, if you want my frank opinion. I went there armed to my full battery of limited Dockland knowledge. They didn't ask me a single question on the subject. All they wanted to know was my state of health, whether I was RC or not, and how much I was prepared to give to party funds. I said £200, their faces lit up, handshakes all round, and I was in. Not a sign of any other contender.
Well, there's no need to reassure themselves on your ability.
Tipped off by central office, you mean? Well, Father, I know that you see me as an enthusiastic amateur, but I shall have a damn good stab at proving you wrong. I met the agent, by the way, Arthur Knowles. He at least seems to be on my side. We took a walk around the constituency. Very depressing. Rotten campaigning weather. That pot's still warm.
I think we need champagne, don't we, Richard?
Yes, of course.
The servants will be so pleased.
Standing for Parliament? Well, that's marvellous. I'd vote for him.
I'm sure we all would, Edward, if we lived in rather high east.
He wrote this letter to the papers, you see, about the plight of unemployed servicemen. It's about time someone stuck up for him, poor devil.
Heard any more about that furniture job, Edward? That one you was after Romford way?
Yeah, well, no, I didn't get that one, actually. It fell through.
Still selling brushes, then?
Yeah, that's right.
Going all right, is it?
Well, you know, up and down. Weather doesn't help much.
Rain and all that, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get some funny stories knocking on people's doors. Do you know what? There was an old lady the other week. She wanted a nice soft brush for a cat. So I'll go in. There's a cat, all right, sitting on the bed. Do you know what? It was stuffed. Dead. She wanted a brush for a dead cat.
Oh, no, thank you, my dear. Ruby and Lily can manage. Looking pale, Daisy. Given enough to eat.
Oh, yeah, plenty, thanks. Daisy, what's happened to your baby?
Ruby.
Oh, it's all right. You have to know sometime. I lost it. Miscarriage, 6 months.
Oh, my dear. I am sorry.
So am I, Daisy. That's a great shame.
Yeah, well, it was disappointing, especially for Eddie, but the doctor said I'd be able to have another one. There's plenty of time.
Well, of course there is plenty of time. Yes.
Well, are we ready for supper, then, I suppose?
Just come in, Miss Hudson. You go in and sit down, my dear. Ruby, come and help me dish up.
For what we are about to receive, may the Lord make us truly thankful. Amen.
Amen.
Well, it certainly looks and smells delicious, Mrs. Bridges.
Oh, thank you, Miss Hudson. Well, I hope everybody's hungry. You still stopping at the same place, Daisy?
Yeah, number 9, Stockwell Road, Mrs. Bridges. You'll have to come and visit us sometime, won't you, Daisy?
Oh, I'd like to do that.
His house don't seem to have changed much, not one bit.
Apart from the children, who make for a lot of extra work, ask Frederick and Lily.
Children? Here?
Yes, Lady Bellamy's children. Master William and Miss Alice. Quite reasonable as children go.
Have you got any regrets giving up service, Daisy?
No regrets, Lily. Just happy memories.
Yeah, you live on them.
What do you mean, Daisy?
Oh, nothing, Mr. Hudson. She, just gets a bit depressed. Misses the company, that's all.
With you out of work all day, eh, Edward?
Yeah.
Well, you do get depressed after losing babies.
What?
And they know about it.
We're very sorry to hear about it, Edward.
Yeah, well, thanks. Ruby's right. That's all it is, though. We can't keep our Daisy down for long, can we, eh?
Why do you have to keep us pretending, Eddie? Why don't you tell him the truth? They aren't fooled.
You're talking about the truth.
I think we've guessed the truth, haven't we, Edward?
Tell him for pity's sake.
Well, I think what Daisy wants me to say is that price selling didn't work out. Well, I'm out of a job at the moment, but I'll get something else. I mean, I'm not downhearted. Daisy?
I'm sorry. They're so cruel to people like my Eddie. I get so angry. Stupid hoity-toity women and butlers shouting rude things, slamming the door in his face. Do they know what you did for them out there, what you went through?
Daisy, shut up. I don't want to hear about
But they
that.
should hear about it. They're our friends. They're the only friends we've got.
We do sympathise. Believe me, Edward. It's a strange, cruel world. But you did make your own beds, the both of you.
Well, what do you mean by that, Mr. Hudson?
I know what he means, Mrs. Bridges. He means it's our fault.
I didn't say that, Edward.
No, you meant it, though. See, I've never forgotten what you said to me in days when we left here. You wanted us to stop on his service like Rose for the rest of our lives, but me and Daisy, we wanted something different, because I reckon we'd earned it. Only Daisy's right. You don't know what it's like out there in this rotten world, because you've never tried it. And until you do try it, you've got no right to it. Well, he hasn't. He wants to try looking for work and supporting a wife and in a miserable little room with the rain coming in. That's why she lost our baby. Because it wasn't possible. It wasn't bloody possible the way he was living. Now, let me finish. I'm not frightened of him. He's just a self-satisfied, smug old man who did nothing in the war except serve bloody sherry. Go on, girl.
Oh, Daisy, if there are any winter shoes or anything you want, I'm sure we could find something for
Thanks
you.
very much, Mrs. Bridges, but we don't want charity. Come on. Is this a good spot?
Yes. They'll come through those gates in a moment and they're dinner hour. The pension office is just round the corner, so we ought to draw the service men. And the women will come out of the tenement building.
Tommy, am I preaching to the employed or the unemployed?
Preaching.
Does seem a bit like a revivalist meeting, doesn't it? Now, do I just start?
Here. Here, Major. Have a drop of this. Loosen your voice. Mr. Weatherall always used to like to take a nip before he started to speak.
Good morning. I am the Conservative candidate. Good morning. Good morning. I am your Conservative candidate, James Bellamy, and I'm here today to ask for your support in the coming by-election. Good morning, madam. But first of all, I want to introduce myself and to try and explain why I'm standing here today. Now, most of my life I have been a professional soldier, and I know that it is often said that soldiers should stick to what they know and shouldn't meddle in politics. Well, I used to believe that once myself. But these times we're living through, the aftermath of this most terrible war, in which we have all suffered, have caused me to change my mind. The gallant working men of this country, with whom I fought in the trenches, and for whom I gained an undying respect, I believe deserve a better deal than they're getting at the moment. Decent housing, proper employment, higher wages. Now, the coalition government
Mr. Lloyd George and his mixed band of helpers claim that this is being done. But I say it's not being done fast enough, nor with a true understanding of your needs. There are too many arguments. Too much time is being wasted. Now, a single party, united and pulling together, can do the job in half the time. That party is the Conservative Party. Now, during the weeks to come, I shall be holding open meetings and issuing pamphlets which lay down our proposals. And also, I hope during my campaign in the constituency to meet many of you to discuss your individual problems.
For Mrs. Bridges. She would have come herself, only the weather's so bad. She apologises for her old age, but they're good quality, she said. Try them on, see if they fit.
You're not accepting them, Daisy?
I need them, Eddie.
We'll take them back and thank Mrs. Bridges very kindly. We don't need them, we've got some.
She won't believe you. Besides, she'll be upset.
Give them here, I'm going to try them on.
You do, Daisy, I'll warn you, I'll walk out of here.
Well, go on then, walk out. I don't care, I need them shoes.
She could do with them, Edward.
How can we be prosperous when the prices keep going up? Even if we are employed, we can't afford to live.
Higher prices are an international problem, the direct result of the war.
That's just an excuse, that is. You'll say that to keep us quiet.
Oi, just a minute. If you get in, you're going to raise our wages, then?
Now, look, I know you want higher wages. But higher wages lead to less employment. True. Now, if we keep wages steady, it will mean more employment for the servicemen. The servicemen who fought in the mud in France. We owe it to them to help them back on their feet, to make Britain a country fit for heroes.
What does that mean, MC?
Yeah. Where did you get the bleeding medal? Sitting in some chateau behind the lines.
I risked my life for you to say that.
We don't want to hear about the war. We've had enough of that bloody war. That's just excuses.
You can't ignore the war as if it never happened.
Here, don't you accuse us. I had two fine sons a husband, what died for this rotten country.
For this great country.
Great for you, maybe.
Yeah, upper-class sugar. When you ever done a day's work? You're not one of us.
No man under my command in the trenches ever said that.
Oh, let me think he has got the bloody eye.
Yeah, get back to your nice warm fireside, you bloody Tory top. You bloody amateur.
Now, one of the most important issues in this pamphlet is housing.
You got a nice house, have you?
How many rooms have you got? How many bleeding servants?
I want more houses for you, for the people.
That's what the bloody government said. And what do they do about it?
Please! Got nothing to say. There's only one way to save this country, and that's by revolution. Follow the lead of Russia. Smash the greedy capitalists. Send them back to the barbaric ages when they're around. Vote for McNeil. You don't want communism. You've had enough of fighting. And that is what a Bolshevik revolution would mean.
Yes.
Now is the time for unity, for working together, not disruption, not strikes.
Listen to us, Swabian first. You're punishing our national suffrage.
They are the enemies of this country. For peace and prosperity, vote for Bellamy.
Get the car around the back of the building, quick.
Right, please pay attention, everyone. Before we begin our breakfast, I should like to read out the results of the Major's by-election. Bellamy, Conservative, 7,369 votes. MacNeil, Socialist Labour Party, 1,043 votes. Shadbolt, Labour, 18,928 votes.
Oh.
Mr. Shadbolt is duly elected to Parliament.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves.
He'd have made a lovely MP.
You can always try again, Lily.
Yeah, somewhere safe next time.
Where they won't chuck things at him.
Ruby, that's enough. Pass the cruet. Bloody fools.
No cause for despondency, James. In the eyes of Central Office, you fought a good campaign. You handled the rowdy elements with dignity and courage. You did well.
Not too well. I failed.
No, you held the support old Harry Wetherall had, and nothing more is expected after all.
Failed.
James.
It's a good experience, James. That's the important thing. You proved to me and a great many other people you have the makings of a politician. We're lunching here. Geoffrey, would you join us? I should be delighted, unless you feel it should be a family occasion.
Not at all. Well, it's not the result that upsets me, that's the least of it. It was what I saw with my own eyes. I believe there was one spark of hope, just one, that came out of the hideous waste of that war. And that was the courage, the fellowship, the sheer bloody good sense that chaps like me saw for the first time in working man. And I believed if we could just hold on to that common ground, keep trusting each other, that we could build something in peacetime. But what happens? We become two nations again, back to the old entrenched positions. Seems without officers they become a undisciplined, ignorant, greedy rabble, content with all the sham